Welcome to the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. It is my pleasure to welcome you to commencement. I am Ron Strauss, Chair of the Commencement Committee, Executive Vice Provost and Chief International Officer for the university. It is my pleasure to introduce the academic procession and begin the commencement ceremony. Please welcome the distinguished representatives of the faculty, led by Faculty Marshal Professor Valerie Ashby. Please welcome the candidate for doctoral, master's, and professional degrees. Please welcome the candidates for the baccalaureate degree. Please welcome the fabulous members of the class of 1964, returning to celebrate their 50th class reunion. And now, please welcome Chancellor Carol Folt and the distinguished members of the Platform Party, led by Faculty Marshal Valerie Ashby.
morning, everyone. Welcome to the 2014 Spring Commencement at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I thought nothing could be finer than to see a Carolina spring unfold from the first daffodil to the amazing blaze of azaleas at the old well until I saw all those Carolina blue-clad graduates sitting here today. It's wonderful. The members of the UNC-Chapel Hill Air Force ROTC will present the colors, and Emily Seeger, Keenan Music Scholar, will lead us in singing the national anthem. Everyone, please rise.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please be seated. In 1795, when Carolina admitted its first students, the nation's first public university was born as a fresh idea for a new nation. 3 years later, in 1798, the first 7 graduates received their diplomas from Carolina. And that day began the tradition we follow on this glorious Carolina morning more than 200 years later. Over those centuries, Carolina has continued to change and face both the struggles and the promise of our nation with the support and love of generations of North Carolinians and graduates from across the world. And in turn, Carolina has provided a life-changing experience for students from backgrounds of poverty to privilege, and for faculty to make game-changing discoveries and to open countless minds to the world of knowledge and possibility. So what is the special sauce that keeps Carolina fresh and looking forward? I got a good word in there. Okay, what is the special sauce? Well, I know the answer. It is you. You are that special fresh sauce. And this morning, we celebrate the fresh face of our future. 3,730 undergraduates with open, curious minds and pretty good senses of humor. 1,423 master's students with bold ideas. 621 professional students who are ready to rock their fields. And 217 doctoral students whose discoveries and passions will drive the future for decades to come. Carolina, the University of the People, is dedicated to lux et libertas, enlightenment and liberty, and to preserving these rights for future generations. And I am very proud to announce that the class of 2014 also includes 27 brand new ensigns and second lieutenants in the Army, Air Force, Navy, and Marines. These young men and women will leave Chapel Hill for active duty, following many fellow Tar Heels, students, alumni, faculty, and staff who serve or have served on active duty or in the reserves. Navy Ensign Micah Polson, graduating today, said at the Red, White, and Carolina Blue ceremony, "At your best, we see in you what we all hope to be." Our gratitude and prayers go with each of you. We also celebrate today 671 Carolina firsts. These are graduates who are first in their families to attend university, and we applaud the bridges you are going to build to bring so many along with you. Woo! And a special thank you to the 1,120 members of the class of 2014 who've already given more than $33,000 in the senior campaign for Carolina. Woo, it's great. These gifts will help keep college affordable for other talented students like you, and your generosity will set a standard for those who follow. One final note of appreciation, something I'm sure most of us are thinking about today, is Mother's Day. Yeah. So we're saluting and sending our love and gratitude to all our mothers, wherever they may be, because we quite literally wouldn't be here without them. Woo, mothers. Students, most of all, this is your day, a day to mark the importance of your academic achievements and to anticipate the mark each one of you will make in the world ahead. As you move to the next phase of your lives, we hope you will also remember your legacy as a Tar Heel. From William Davey and November Caldwell, to William Friday and Sonia Haynes Stone, the people of Carolina are people of courage and character. They build and serve their communities. It started with the UNC founders who stood under that poplar tree and created a model for public higher education in our nation. It continued with Sally Walker Stoddard, class of 1898, Carolina's first female graduate. She challenged convention and she endured incredible isolation to show that women are worthy of higher education. Yes, they are. 54 years later, in 1952, Harvey Beach received his law degree and became the first African American to graduate from UNC. Forcing the university doors wider and pushing us to more fully become the university of the people. And each generation since has brought more extraordinary people, pioneers, and innovators across the realm of human endeavors. This is your legacy. And it's a legacy that carries responsibility that we also celebrate today. It's now my pleasure to introduce my distinguished colleagues on the platform who also believe very much in your capacity and the promise of your education. I'll call their names and ask them to remain standing, and please ask you to hold your applause until I've recognized everyone. James Dean, Executive Vice Chancellor and Provost. As the Chief Academic Officer, Provost Dean oversees the 14 schools of the university and the university library. Winston Crisp, Vice Chancellor for Student Affairs. Vice Chancellor Crisp is responsible for student life, including the resident halls, health and wellness, leadership, and service. Steve Mattson, Professor of Biology and Dean of the Graduate School. Yesterday, in the doctoral hooding ceremony, Dean Mattson presided over the conferring of almost 300 doctoral degrees. Jan Boxell, Master Lecturer in Philosophy, Director of the Parr Center for Ethics, and Chair of the Faculty. Carolina has a proud tradition of shared governance that includes faculty members, and Dr. Boxell has represented the faculty in decision-making about academic matters. Charles Streeter, Database Analyst for Student Affairs and Chair of the Employee Forum. The forum represents the interests of Carolina's employees and communicates between them and the university administration. Kieran Barjois, President of the Graduate and Professional Student Federation and a doctoral student in philosophy. Georgia Walker, President of your senior class, 2014. And Tony Botros, Vice President of your senior class. Thank you all for taking part in this ceremony. Woo. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Leroy Lael, a member of the UNC Board of Governors. Mr. Lael is a Carolina graduate, class of 1961. He is president of the world-famous Hickory Furniture Mart in Hickory, North Carolina. Mr. Lael will present the Board of Governors Excellence in Teaching Award.
Thank you. It's my honor today to bring greetings from our chairman, Peter Hans, and the entire membership of the Board of Governors of the University of North Carolina. During this spring season, we hear the faculty and staff speaking about the accomplishments of another successful graduating class. And we hear their parents rejoicing over your achievements. I'd like to pause and ask you to join me in a round of applause for the parents, grandparents, and families of our graduates who supported them this day. It is important to acknowledge the contributions of the faculty and staff of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. I'm certain you agree how vital their encouragement has been. Today, you're graduating from the first public university founded in the United States. UNC-Chapel Hill was created for us, and those who came after us at a great sacrifice. It was created because our leaders had the vision to know that access to public higher education is the key to the greatness for this state and its people. Graduates, this university has been the key to our success as a state and as a people. Experiences learned during your time at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill will resonate throughout your life. The University of North Carolina salutes your hard work, applauds your accomplishments, and looks forward to your contributions to our university, our state, and our nation. May this moment live especially in your heart always. Congratulations. It is now my honor to present this year's Board of Governors Excellence Award for Excellence in Teaching to one of your most outstanding faculty members. Established by the Board of Governors in 1994 to underscore the importance of teaching and to reward great teachers across the university, the awards are given annually to a tenured faculty member from each UNC campus. Recipients are nominated by a special committee on their home campus and are selected by the Board of Governors Committee on Personnel and Tenure. Each winner receives a bronze medallion and cash award. This year's recipient is Dr. Christian Aliadas, Professor of Chemistry and Astronomy. Would you please join me at the podium, please? Professor Aliadas. Born in Birkenstock, Germany, Professor Aliadas earned an undergraduate degree in physics from the University of Notre Dame. After doctoral work at the University of Toronto, he joined the Carolina faculty in 1996. Professor Aliadas' research focused on nuclear physics and astrophysics. His work addressed two important questions about our world: the evolution of stars and the origins of the elements in the universe. He has published numerous research articles and presented his work to professional audiences. His faculty colleagues observe that Professor Aliadas is a key member of the UNC's small, internationally recognized nuclear astrophysics group. He's made significant contributions in the department in scholarly research, teaching, innovation, and service. Both his faculty colleagues and students admire him for his teaching skills. In addition to teaching undergraduate courses in basic concepts of physics and nuclear physics, he teaches advanced courses in quantum mechanics. Professor Aliadas offers a course entitled From Matrix to Mission Impossible: Physics in the Movies. In this course, students learn about important concepts including force, friction, Newton's law, momentum, harmonic motion, classical and special relativity. Professor Aliadas received many compliments from his current and former students, but one which is best summarized by Professor Aliadas is awesome. Dr. Aliadas, we celebrate your outstanding and awesome professional achievement and salute your demonstrated commitment to great teaching and inspiring new generations of learning. In honoring you, we will acknowledge the more than 14,000 dedicated faculty members who teach over 220,000 students throughout the University of North Carolina. Okay, at this time, I'd like to present the check. I'd like to have the Chancellor to help me with doing the medal. Oops. Thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you, Mr. Lale. I'm now very pleased to introduce the Chair of the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, Lowry Cotto. Lowry graduated from Carolina with a chemistry degree in 1979. He's an investor and an entrepreneur who has an adjunct appointment in the Department of Chemistry and is so active in our entrepreneur programs. Dr. Cottle will bring greetings from the Board of Trustees.
Thank you, Chancellor Folt. How wonderful to share the podium with you today, our first female chancellor on your first spring commencement. Graduates, I bring greetings on behalf of the Board of Trustees of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Congratulations on your achievements. And to parents and family members in the audience, congratulations. I know how you feel. Last year I was sitting where you are as my son and my niece graduated. As trustees, our job is to help make sure that Carolina students have the very best opportunities. Everything that a leading public research university offers to help you learn, make discoveries, and apply your knowledge for public good. As Carolina students and now graduates, we want you to be prepared to see a need and think, does it have to be this way? We want you to have the tools to explore, discover, and implement. To start with a question, gather information, engage partners, persevere to reach a goal, and then implement new ideas and solutions. That's what we mean when we talk about being innovative and entrepreneurial. You can change the world. That's what we're doing at Carolina, and that's what you have been part of in your time here. It means something to have graduated from UNC, the first public university. Our founders believed that an educated person is a public asset, and that is why your Carolina education has included engagement and public service. I urge you to continue to do that after you leave Carolina and to prove our founders were right. I believe you will. Congratulations.
Thank you, Trustee Cottle. I'm now very pleased to introduce the Chair of the Board of Directors of the General Alumni Association, Robin Hadley, who will bring their greetings. She is a member of the class of 1985, a Rhodes Scholar, and Associate Vice Chancellor and Director of the John B. Irvin Scholars Program at Washington University in St. Louis.
Good morning and congratulations to the class of 2014. After years of hard work, countless anxious moments, bottomless cups of coffee or something else, you have earned your degree from Carolina. You and your family can be justifiably proud, and what a wonderful day to celebrate Mother's Day and get ready for the summer. Today, you join the largest and only permanent part of your Carolina family. You are now among more than 296,000 living Carolina alumni around the world. The General Alumni Association is the official organization for all former Carolina students. The GAA will keep you informed about and connected to your university, your classmates, your local Carolina Club events, and other alumni activities through our award-winning Carolina Alumni Review. As our newest alumni, you will be particularly interested in our Alumni Career Center Services programs, can you say job? And opportunities to network and to give back to UNC. You were a Carolina student for a few short years, 4, 5, 6, maybe more. But you'll be a Carolina alumnus forever. A Carolina alumnus forever. One final request. Wherever you may move and whenever you move, change jobs, get married, or have children, please be sure to share this news with your alumni association. Hark the sound, and happy Mother's Day.
Thank you, Chair Hadley. Commencement is an opportunity for us to recognize extraordinary individuals who embody the mission of this institution and inspire us all. Each year, the faculty selects individuals for distinguished service to the university, the state, the nation, and the world. Upon these individuals, we are privileged to confer honorary degrees in recognition of their exemplary achievement and impact. I call upon Provost Dean to lead this portion of the ceremony. And Joseph Farrell, the Albert Coates Professor and Secretary of the Faculty, will come forward to reach each citation.
Will Dean Bill McDermott please conduct forward Marjorie Bryan Buckley?
Chancellor Folt, I have the great honor to present Marjorie Bryan Buckley, who's been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Pretty special.
Marjorie Buckley is a former teacher, lifelong volunteer, and visionary philanthropist. A native of Goldsboro, North Carolina, Buckley graduated Phi Beta Kappa from Carolina in 1962 with an AB in education. She led the effort in 1965-67 to establish the North Carolina Outward Bound School, which has offices and base camps in western North Carolina, the Outer Banks, and Florida. It serves annually on average 2,000 students with life-changing wilderness programs and 4,000 students with urban programs through a partnership with the Atlanta Public School System. It also provides courses designed for practicing teachers, and among its scholarship opportunities for students at Carolina, courses for students earning a Master of Education, and an annual course for incoming student body leaders. Buckley's support was instrumental in founding the Carolina Center for Public Service. Dedicated in 1999, the center focuses on public service initiatives throughout the university and fosters a service ethic and practice among our students, faculty, and staff. Elsewhere on campus, Buckley has endowed the Joseph P. Archie Jr. Eminent Professorship in Medicine, which focuses on autoimmune disease, and the Thomas James Distinguished Professorship Fund in Experiential Education. Her honors include the General Alumni Association's Distinguished Service Medal, the Board of Trustees William Richardson Davey Award, St. Mary's School Distinguished Alumni Award, the Governor of North Carolina's Order of the Longleaf Pine, and the Kurt Hahn Award, the highest form of recognition conferred by Outward Bound in the United States. For her loyalty and service to her alma mater, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Marjorie Bryan Buckley the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Marjorie Bryan Buckley, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the State of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws.
Will Professor Jane Thrailkill please conduct forward Biddy Martin?
Chancellor Folt, I have the honor to present Biddy Martin, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree Doctor of Laws.
Biddy Martin is the 19th president of Amherst College, a position she has held since 2011. Previously, she served as provost of Cornell and chancellor of the University of Wisconsin at Madison. Martin is the author of many scholarly articles and 2 books. Her record of teaching and scholarship in German studies has earned her recognition, but it is through her administrative leadership that she has made her most enduring contributions. The American Academy of Arts and Sciences awarded her membership in recognition of her outstanding leadership in higher education. At a time when public higher education has experienced repeated budget cuts and its role in the body politic questioned, Martin has been a passionate leader and spokesperson for the importance of a liberal education in a democratic society. At UW-Madison, she led successful efforts to increase need-based financial aid, improve undergraduate education, and enhance research. She also launched the Madison Initiative for Undergraduates to enhance student advising, introduced programs, innovations in undergraduate programs, and increased faculty diversity. During her relatively short tenure at Amherst, she has ushered the college through institutional soul searching, following a series of reports of a culture of sexual misconduct among undergraduates. The New York Times commented that no college leader in the country was as well prepared to face this controversy as Biddy Martin. In recognition of her outstanding accomplishment in scholarship and higher education administration, the University of North Carolina is pleased to confer on Biddy Martin the degree of Doctor of Laws honoris causa.
Biddy Martin, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Laws.
Will Professor John Wood Sweet please conduct forward Armistead Jones Maupin, Jr.?
Chancellor Holt, I have the great honor of presenting Armistead Jones Maupin, Jr., who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Letters.
Armistead Maupin, class of 1966, grew up in Raleigh. As an undergraduate here, he wrote a column for the Daily Tar Heel, was elected vice president of the senior class, won the Mangum Oratory Medal, and was inducted into the Order of the Golden Fleece. After graduation, he served as a naval officer in the Mediterranean and with the River Patrol Force in Vietnam. Maupin worked as a reporter in Charleston, South Carolina, and then with the Associated Press in San Francisco. In 1976, while at the San Francisco Chronicle, he launched the groundbreaking work that would propel his literary career for almost 4 decades. Tales of the City began as a serialized novel. perhaps the most successful of that genre since Charles Dickens, and eventually became a sequence of 9 globally best-selling books. In 1994, Armistead Maupin's Tales of the City became a controversial PBS miniseries that earned record-high ratings and a Peabody Award, broadcasting's most prestigious honor. Today, it is perhaps difficult to remember the way in which Tales of the City shattered barriers. More than any other work of fiction, the Tales novels set a precedent for the inclusion of gay, lesbian, bisexual, and transgender people in mainstream American literature as folks who experience the same foibles, follies, and desire for love that lie at the heart of the human condition everywhere. As a senior class officer, Armistead Maupin was instrumental in the erection of a memorial sculpture to Thomas Wolfe. Now he comes home again to Carolina, accompanied by his husband, Christopher Turner, to receive our highest honor, the degree of Doctor of Letters, honoris causa.
Armistead Jones Maupin, Jr. By virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Letters.
Will Professor Daniel Gitterman please conduct forward Beverly Eves Perdue?
Chancellor Folt, Dr. Perdue, happy Mother's Day. Chancellor, I have the honor to present Dr. Beverly Eves Perdue, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Beverly Eves Perdue served as the 73rd governor of North Carolina, having been elected to that position in 2008, following 2 terms as the 32nd lieutenant governor. She is the first woman to have held either of North Carolina's highest elective offices. Perdue earned a bachelor's degree from the University of Kentucky and both a master's degree in education and a doctoral degree in education administration from the University of Florida. She is only one of 2 North Carolina governors to hold an earned doctorate. As a state senator, she championed passage of the 2000 Michael K. Hooker Higher Education Facilities Financing Act, which provided needed resources for critical infrastructure improvements at the state's community colleges and public universities. As Lieutenant Governor, she cast the deciding vote to establish the North Carolina Education Lottery, which has directed millions to the day-to-day operations of the public school system. As governor during the most difficult economic times in decades, she maintained the state's AAA credit rating and worked tirelessly to preserve North Carolina's commitment to education from kindergarten to college. Since leaving public office, she has held positions at the Harvard Institute of Politics, Duke University's Sanford School of Public Policy, and Duke's Center for Child and Family Policy. Currently, she is founder and chair of the Digital Learning Institute, funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation and the Carnegie Corporation of New York. For outstanding contribution in public service, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Beverly Eves Perdue the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa.
Beverly Eves Perdue. By virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Laws.
Will Professor Valerie Ashby please conduct forward Anne Farrar Scott?
Chancellor Folt, I have the honor to present Anne Farrar Scott, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Anne Farrar Scott, a pioneering historian of American women whose efforts helped open the doors of the history profession to female scholars, is the W.K. Boyd Professor Emerita of History at Duke University. In the 1960s and 70s, Professor Scott was a founder of the field of U.S. women's history, and especially of Southern women's history. Her path-breaking book, The Southern Lady, From Pedestal to Politics in 1970, moved women from the margins to the center of Southern history. Later works explored women's biography, voluntary organizations, education, and relationships across racial lines. Inspired to study women reformers after working for the National League of Women Voters in the 1940s, Scott earned her PhD at Harvard-Radcliffe in 1958. In 1961, she took a history position at Duke. By 1980, she was the William K. Boyd Professor of History and the first woman to chair Duke's History Department. She would go on to serve as president of the Organization of American Historians and then the Southern Historical Association, and was elected to the American Academy of Arts and Sciences in 2004. Scott's seminal The Southern Lady has never been out of print. Its central questions continue to be debated, while Scott and the dozens of historians she mentored expanded inquiry into crucial questions of how gender, race, and class have combined to shape women's lives. For outstanding accomplishment in the field of women's history, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Anne Farrar Scott the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters, honoris causa.
Anne Farrar Scott, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the state of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree of Doctor of Humane Letters.
Will Dean Bill Roper please conduct forward Atul Gawande?
Chancellor Folt, I have the honor to present Atul Gawande, who has been recommended by the faculty and approved by the Board of Trustees for the degree of Doctor of Science.
Atul Gawande is a surgeon, writer, and public health researcher. He practices general and endocrine surgery at Brigham and Women's Hospital in Boston. He is professor in the Department of Health Policy and Management at the Harvard School of Public Health, professor of surgery at Harvard Medical School, and director of Ariadne Labs and the founder and chairman of Lifebox. Gawande has been a staff writer for the New Yorker magazine since 1998. His June 2009 New Yorker essay comparing health care in two Texas towns with dramatically different costs showed how more expensive care could be worse care, reflecting practices performed more for business reasons than medical needs. The article changed public understanding about the broken incentives in healthcare. In addition, the article won a National Magazine Award and was hailed as the best explanation to date about why our healthcare is so expensive and what can be done about that. Gawande has also written 3 best-selling books. Complications examines the fallibility of doctors, the mysteries of medicine, and the unknowns of the field. It was a finalist for the National Book Award in 2002. Better was selected as one of the 10 best books of 2007 by Amazon.com. In it, Gawande discussed 3 virtues most important for success in medicine: diligence, doing right, and ingenuity. His 3rd book, The Checklist Manifesto: How to Get Things Right, discusses the importance of organization and pre-planning. Gawande has won 2 National Magazine Awards, Academy Health's Impact Award for the highest research impact on healthcare, a MacArthur Fellowship, and has been named as one of the 100 most influential thinkers by Foreign Policy and Time magazine. For outstanding accomplishment in the field of medicine, the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill is pleased to confer on Atul Gawande the degree of Doctor of Science, honoris causa, and to invite him to deliver the 2014 commencement address.
Atul Gawande, by virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina by the State of North Carolina and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree Doctor of Science. I'll do one more. Ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Atul Gawande.
Welcome, graduates. Thank you for including all of us as honorees and making us part of the University of the People. I even have a cousin, believe it or not, who's graduating this year among you, a North Carolina cousin. Hello, Amelia. From my wife's side of the family. I want to start by telling you a doctor's story. I know, this is your graduation. I'm going to be talking to you about sick people. I'm going to ask you to bear with me, and I think you'll see why. And anyway, this is what you get when you put a doctor between you and your diploma. Several years ago, I was having lunch with a colleague of mine, a pediatrician, and we got into a conversation about a project he was working on. He was trying to create a way of measuring the amount of suffering that children with cancer experienced as they went through chemotherapy, radiation, and other treatments. Sounds like a great story, huh? He was thinking if he could design an objective way of measuring the overall well-being of these kids, doctors could make improvements that might reduce how much they had to endure. The day we talked, however, he was incredibly frustrated. He'd crafted a set of questions for the kids, probing all kinds of aspects of their lives, how much pain they had, what kind of sports they could play and couldn't play, how happy they were. And he tested those questions in children treated for cancer and children who were just healthy school kids. But the questionnaire didn't seem to work, and that's why he was frustrated. The answers weirdly produced almost no difference between the two groups. Here he had sick kids in wheelchairs, oxygen tubing in their noses, hair gone, at threat of their lives. They'd report a bit more nausea and pain than a kid off the school playground, but that was about it. Overall, their responses suggested they had almost equal quality of life. Indeed, the sick kids sometimes reported higher quality of life than the school kids. One question to ask the kids, for example, can you play basketball? And the kids in the wheelchairs, the wheelchair kid would say, yeah, I can play basketball. And the kid off the playground, he'd say, nah, I couldn't play basketball. My colleague felt like he had to go back to the drawing board and come up with better questions. But maybe not. Since we spoke, a pile of research has emerged showing similar results, and it's largely found that the social and emotional quality of life of these kids with cancer is as good as that of healthy children, and sometimes better. And I've come to think that that puzzling research is telling us something useful about how people, all of us, flourish in life. Earlier this spring, St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital in Memphis published the results from studying 255 children after treatment for cancer. The average age was just 13. Half described their cancer battle as the most traumatic event of their life. And the only reason the other half didn't say so was they had actually gone on to face worse. One was injured in a drive-by shooting that killed their cousin. Another was displaced by Hurricane Katrina. A third was homeless. Others suffered the deaths of close family. The psychologist had said that most of them would likely have post-traumatic stress disorder. Yet when they were measured later, these kids had lower measures of post-traumatic stress than a matched group of children without cancer. These researchers found that the experience the kids had had paradoxically strengthened them. They developed social connections. They had a greater sense of empathy for others. They had increased emotional strength. They found them overall doing better, not worse, than the average child. Now, what was going on here? Normally, if you go through an extended period of suffering, pain, deprivation, violence, especially in childhood, it damages and weakens you. Something was different here. Well, it appears the reason these children grew stronger was due to how the world around them led them to deal with their ordeal. The hospital had created an environment full of people who cared about them, understood them and their difficulties, and helped them see beyond their disease to what was worth striving for. The children had their family all around and supporting them. They were connected with other children in similar straits and forged bonds of belonging and self-belief. These were kids, in other words, who were helped to find their sense of meaning and purpose, as well as find people who could share it with them. And the combination was so powerful, it could carry them through their terrible travails. But for many of the healthy kids, it ironically remained an untapped source of strength and resilience. Experiences of terrible adversity can sometimes bring out this kind of flourishing. For instance, when neighbors come together after a natural disaster and discover they feel more alive than they had. But it doesn't take suffering to find out how potent a feeling of purpose and connection to a community can be. And I suspect that you have experienced something very much like that feeling here in college and discovered how much it can make you grow. The aim of college is not complicated. It is to learn and try stuff so you can expand as a human being, find what you care about, maybe even figure out who you are and what you're here on this rock for. I had by no means figured out who I was or what I was when I graduated from college. I would still have some years of wandering before I settled on medicine and writing and family and the other ways I would try to make my difference. But it was a special thing to be in a place like this with others who were also trying to figure out their spot in the world. I suspect you too had those late night dorm conversations, that random tutor or professor who took you under wing and believed in you, the encounters with people and ideas you never imagined. I arrived at college to find I was sharing a room with a long-haired, born-again Christian humanities major and an Air Force ROTC electrical engineer. We were, on paper, totally incompatible. But before you knew it, we joined together to put on a Wednesday 2 a.m. college radio show that was doomed within a month because none of us wanted to get out of bed for it. We ran what turned out to be an illegal business from our room, supplying the dorm with Twinkies, soda, and beer for pizza money. I joined a campus Amnesty International campaign for political prisoners, and at one point nearly traveled to communist Poland on some cockamamie scheme we came up with to get illegal writings out from prisoners there, only to chicken out. And I think you've had your own inadvisable experiments too. But because they gave you a sense of direction and connection to others, they are a big part of the reason why, despite the slog of coursework, the all-nighters, the sometimes failures and personal setbacks, that's why most of you will long remember college and Carolina as among the best years of your lives. Ultimately, it turns out we all have an intrinsic need to pursue purposes larger than ourselves, purposes worth making sacrifices for. People often say, find your passion. But there's more to it than that. Not all passions are enough. Just existing for your desires feels empty and insufficient because our desires are fleeting and insatiable. You need a loyalty. The only way life is not meaningless is to see yourself as part of something greater, a family, a community, a society. And that is the best part of what college has allowed you to do. College made it easy. It gave you an automatic place in the world where you could feel part of something greater. The supposedly real world you are joining does not. You face certain traps in moving on from here. One ugliness, I think, of the real world is its readiness to have you define your purpose in terms of an enemy. And I'm not talking about Duke. I'm talking about those we compete with or simply disagree with. The purpose for far too many is less to build something better than to destroy the other side. No tactic is too low as long as you can get away with it. More and more of public and private life seems defined by the strength of one's power rather than the strength of one's ideas. And it's surprisingly seductive, you'll find when you get out there. We all find victories easier to come by when they're about knocking others down instead of winning them over. But we also eventually find these are empty satisfactions. Our other tendency, especially when faced with this kind of nakedly adversarial world, is to narrow down, focus on just your own material needs and success. Why get involved in more when it so often involves dealing with the antagonistic and the unkind? It's so much simpler and less messy to hold ourselves back and stay removed in our own private realm. The trouble is, you will wake up one day asking yourself why it's so unfulfilling to simply exist. You cannot flourish without a larger purpose. And that's lucky in a way, because our society cannot flourish without your reaching for a larger purpose either. But what purpose? People and their experiences again offer a clue. And what people find is that they have no more transcendent experience than getting to see and help others find their own purpose, to achieve their own potential. And your parents and teachers today can tell you a little bit about that incredible feeling. The lasting wonder and beauty of places like this is their commitment to building people up rather than beating them down. And our great hope is that you carry that ethos with you into the rest of your life. One thing I came to realize after college was that the search for purpose is really a search for a place, not an idea. It is a search for a location in the world where you want to be part of making things better for others in your own small way. It could be a classroom where you teach, a business where you work, a neighborhood where you live. The key is that you find yourself in a place where if you stop caring, if your greatest concern becomes only you get out of there. You want to put yourself in a place that suits who you are, links you to others, and gives you something beyond yourself worth making sacrifices for. For me, that place happened to be a hospital. I liked having the privilege of getting to know people so intimately as a doctor and learning skills they needed and could depend on me for. I also liked the kind of person being in a hospital forced me to be. Things in a hospital don't always work. The people you take care of aren't always pleasant or certainly happy. But everyone has to matter. Everyone deserves respect, and our effort to understand them and help them achieve whatever well-being is possible for them. After all, isn't that what we want for ourselves? If so, then that has to be what we seek for others, whether they're a 90-year-old with dementia or a 13-year-old with cancer. Nobody here knows where the place for you will be. But graduates, we do know there is a place for you. In fact, there are likely many of them. You're going to even create some of those places yourselves, and the world is going to benefit from that. This is the reason why we're so excited for you today, and the reason you too can be glad to be moving on from here. Congratulations to you all. Thank you for all you're going to do, and thank you for making me a Tar Heel.
Thank you, Dr. Gawande, and please join me in thanking one more time all these incredible recipients of this honorary degree and their wonderful, inspiring lives. Okay, this is it. We now turn to the conferral of degrees. Okay, let's take a moment first to recognize our outstanding undergraduates. I'm going to start with seniors who are exceptionally accomplished students and who exemplify the highest possible level of undergraduate scholarship. Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees with highest honors please rise and remain standing? Woo. Will the candidates for baccalaureate degrees with honors please rise and remain standing? Congratulations to each one of you on this astounding achievement. Okay, thank you. You can sit back down. I will now call on the deans of the university in order of the anniversary date of each college or school to present their candidates for doctoral, master's, and baccalaureate degrees. Will Dean Karen Gill please come forward to present the students from the College of Arts and Sciences?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, Master of Fine Arts, Master of Regional Planning, Master of Science, Bachelor of Arts, Bachelor of Fine Arts, Bachelor of Music, and Bachelor of Science. Will these students please stand, and congratulations.
Woo! Will Dean Jack Boger please come forward to present the students from the School of Law?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for Juris Doctor and Master of Laws. Will these students please rise?
Thank you. Will Dean William Roper please come forward to present the students from the School of Medicine?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for the Doctor of Medicine, Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Audiology, Doctor of Physical Therapy, Master of Radiologic Science, Master of Science in Rehabilitation, Counseling, and Psychology, Master of Speech Language Pathology, Master of Occupational Therapy, Master of Clinical Laboratory Science, Bachelor of Science in Clinical Laboratory Science, and Bachelor of Science in Radiologic Science. Will these students please rise, and congratulations.
Will Dean Bill McDermott please come forward to present the students from the School of Education?
Chancellor Folt, I'm very pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Education, Master of Arts, Masters of Arts in Teaching, Masters of Education, Master of School Administration, and Bachelor of Arts in Education. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Bob Bluen please come forward to present the students from the Eshelman School of Pharmacy?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Pharmacy, Masters of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Pharmaceutical Sciences. Will these students please rise? Congratulations.
Will Will Dean Doug Shackelford please come forward to present the students from the Keenan Flagler Business School?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Accounting, Master of Business Administration, and Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Jack Richmond please come forward to present the students from the School of Social Work?
Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased and proud to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy and Masters of Social Work. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Susan King please come forward to present the students from the School of Journalism and Mass Communication?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Arts, and Bachelor of Arts in Journalism and Mass Communication. Will these students please stand? Congratulations.
Will Dean Gary Marciani please come forward to present the students from the School of Information and Library Science?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Master of Science in Information Science, Master of Science in Library Science, and Bachelor of Science in Information Science. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Barbara Reimer please come forward to present the students from the Gilling School of Global Public Health?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Public Health, Master of Healthcare Administration, Master of Public Health, Master of Science, Master of Sciences in Environmental Sciences and Engineering, Master of Science in Public Health, and Bachelor of Science in Public Health. Will these students please stand? Thank you.
Will Dean Jane Weintraub please come forward to present the students from the School of Dentistry?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for Doctor of Philosophy, Doctor of Dental Surgery, Master of Science, and Bachelor of Science in Dental Hygiene. Will these students please rise?
Will Dean Kristen Swanson please come forward to present the students from the School of Nursing?
Chancellor Folt, I am pleased to present to you the candidates for the Doctor of Philosophy, the Masters in Nursing Science, the Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Will these Carolina nurses please rise? And congratulations.
Will Dean Mike Smith please come forward to present the schools from the School of Government?
First, congratulations, David. Mom and Dad are very proud of you. Chancellor Folt, I'm pleased to present to you the candidates for the degree Master of Public Administration. Will these students please rise?
Will all degree candidates please rise? "20 seconds. I'm going to hold this moment. By virtue of the authority vested in the University of North Carolina, and by the state of North Carolina, and by the university entrusted to me, I hereby confer upon you the degree for which the faculty has certified you, together with all the rights and privileges thereunto pertaining, and I offer you my warmest congratulations." I now invite Georgia Walker, president of the senior class, to say a few words on behalf of the class of 2014. At the conclusion of her remarks, she'll be joined by senior class vice president Tony Botros, and together they will lead you in the switching of your tassel, signifying your graduation from the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill.
Good morning, class of 2014. So I just want to start off by saying that I am absolutely honored to be a member of this phenomenal class. So now that we are graduating seniors, we've seen it all. We've faced sleepless nights in the library and tallied countless hours in the writing center. We survived a Mayan apocalypse and the most recent snowpocalypse. We've been abandoned by Larry Drew, and we watched Duke chicken out because of a couple of snowflakes. We dealt with the challenges that Alert Carolina was unable to prepare us for. We even endured a government shutdown. But we are strong and unified, and together we have rallied to make our own positive and lasting memories. We changed our profile pictures to Kendall Marshall's X-rayed hand. We eventually figured out how to unsubscribe from a senior listserv. And we electrified the Dean Dome this February to create one of the most defining moments for the class of 2014. While this is a day for high fives, congratulations, buds, and my how you've grown, it's important we take a moment to say thank you. We need to thank the incredible faculty and staff who have dedicated their lives to making sure we dotted all our I's and crossed all our T's before setting us free into the unknown that is the real world. We can thank the Pit, home to flash mobs, Harlem Shakes, and the unity that it brings us every single day. We should definitely thank Roy Williams. We need to thank the P2P and its unreliable reliability to always pick us up at 2 a.m. And we can even thank those ruthless bricks that turn our walk to class into a battlefield. And finally, look around you, because these are the people you need to thank the most. It's true what they say, and that's that this is the university of the people. The service and dedication to bettering our local community, this university, and even the world can only be found in a class like ours. Now, there's actually one more person we all need to thank. Even as a Duke graduate, my mom is here today wearing Carolina blue loud and proud. So let's take a minute to thank our mothers for all they have sacrificed to get us here today. As the class of 2014, we have a bond that will keep us together for the rest of our lives. This is a tie that can't be broken, as today marks the day we become alumni of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. Unfamiliar territory might seem a little scary, but the poet William G.T. Shedd reminds us, a ship is safe in harbor. That's not what ships are built for. Thank you.
As President and Vice President of the class of 2014, we are privileged to lead you in moving your tassels from right to left, signifying your new status. Congratulations.
Go Heels!
Congratulations, graduates. Welcome to the ranks of alumni of the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill. The moment has finally come. The pomp and ceremony is nearly concluded, I promise. And your next journey is about to begin. My charge to you is simple. Be true to your heart. Find the place in yourselves where your courage, your integrity, your compassion, and thankfulness are centered. When you draw from those wells, your life's journey will be one of meaning and purpose. Carolina is your springboard to the part that you're going to play in a world of exploding potential. You will also forever be my very first class of graduates at Carolina. Thank you. I am so proud of you. Woo. You are carrying skills and capacities that you have developed here at Carolina, and I don't think you can even appreciate them yet. I have seen many of you face challenges and respond with equally strong character. I've watched you embrace the opportunity to learn, to lead, to serve, and seen incredible things that you're already doing with your lives. And last but certainly not least, I have had so much fun with you. I can't thank you enough for the grateful, warm, loving welcome I've had this year. You are the finest testament to the future of this great university that I can imagine. Graduates of 2014, there are a dizzying number of discoveries and industries just waiting for you. There are important questions to be answered, and social problems of great magnitude be tackled, and they need your attention. Your ideas and your work will shape the very future of our planet. So I urge you to lean in, live in real time, and yes, you can clap along when you're happy. And when you're not happy, you have to lean in, you have to live in, and you have to fight for change. Because if you do this, you'll never be watching from the sidelines, but you'll be a person who is indeed making history. Albert Coates, who is the North Carolinian that founded the School of Government here, once called this university a magic Gulf Stream, flowing in an ever-widening current through the lives of people in the cities, the counties, the state of North Carolina, and beyond. As you leave today, you are forever a part of this magic Gulf Stream. And Carolina pledges back to you, our newly minted alumni, to continue to make Chapel Hill a place of pride and promise, fresh, forward, and always for the people. Now, before we close, I want to follow another Carolina tradition and ask all the families of our graduates, parents, spouses, children, grandparents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, visiting friends, please rise. It's our chance to fill the stadium with a roar of applause for you. Thank you. Let's also thank Director of the University Band, Jeffrey Fuchs, and your fellow student musicians for their music today. Our student marshals for their work. And a special thank you to the Carolina staff who make this event possible and care so deeply for you every single day. Thank you. At the conclusion of the ceremony, little business here, we're going to ask you to exit the stadium by going up the stairs and out of the stadium the same way that you came in. Please don't come down to the field, as the only exit here is reserved for those with disabilities. And now I'm going to introduce the fantastic UNC Clef hangers who will perform Carolina in My Mind. Following their performance, Emily Seeger will return to the podium to lead us in singing Hark the Sound, and then ask you to remain in your seats until the platform party exits the field. Okay, Clefs.
In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind.
When she's a silver sun, you best walk away and watch her shining, and watch the morning come. A silver tear appearing now, and I'm crying, and I'm gone to Carolina in my mind.
Ain't no doubt in no one's mind that love's the finest thing around. She whispers something soft and kind, like, hey babe, the sky's on fire and I'm dying. Ain't I gone to Carolina in my mind? In my mind, I'm gone to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't it just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm gone to Carolina in my mind. Dark inside, late last night, I think I might have heard the highway calling.
Geese in flight and dogs at bite. Signs it might be omens say, I'm going, I'm going, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. And it's with a holy host of others standing around me. Still I'm on the dark side of the moon, and it seems like it goes on like this forever. You must forgive me if I'm up and gone to Carolina in my mind. In my mind, I'm going to Carolina. Can't you see the sunshine? Can't you just feel the moonshine? Ain't he just like a friend of mine to hit me from behind? Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Yes, I'm going to Carolina in my mind. Yes, I'm gone, I'm gone. Yes, I'm gone. Won't you carry on without me when I'm gone? Won't you say nice things about me when I'm gone?